Hey everybody, have you heard of Mercury is in retrograde? I certainly have, and I've been hearing it a lot lately because apparently it is happening right now. So you've probably heard things like don't buy a computer when Mercury is in retrograde. And be careful, don't drop your phone in the toilet because Mercury is in retrograde. And watch how you email because Mercury is in retrograde and we have to be super, super careful. There is something kind of satisfying about laying all of our problems at the planetary doorstep. Well, Mercury may be in retrograde, and that is all about communication. However, we can focus on our communication skills during this wacky time by focusing on the throat chakra. That is how we communicate. That houses everything that we say, how we say it, how we're delivering a message. So if you ever feel like things are a little wacky around you, not just electronically, but people are saying some kind of strange things to you, or you feel that you may be saying some strange things to someone else, or you might pop off, this is the practice for you. All right, let's get started. So let's just start out in this seated position, easy seated pose, whatever position feels good for you right now, whether you'd like to be on your knees, whether you'd like to have your legs extended, or if you just want to sit in crisscross applesauce, this is where we'll start. We'll place our hands on our knees with our palms facing up, or in our laps with our palms facing up, and let's gently close our eyes. We take this time right here just to settle in, to transition from whatever we were doing before into our practice. We recognize that it might be a little bit of a challenge at first to get settled in, to kind of leave whatever those things were that we were tending to before we found this space on our mat, to leave those things out the door. And that is okay. It's all right if our mind starts to wander. Whenever we feel our mind throughout our practice starting to wander other places, we'll just take a breath and bring our mind on back to our mat. Paying a little more attention to our breath here. Taking some deeper inhales and exhales. And taking this time to set our intention. Whatever it is that we want to dedicate our practice to, whatever is weighing a little too heavily on our heart or taking up a little too much space in our mind. Maybe there is some healing energy that we want to send towards someone else. Or maybe we just want to send some good healing energy to ourselves. We give ourselves permission to focus only on ourselves during this practice, during this time that we have. And we also take this moment to honor how we communicate. To remember that every word that we speak is sacred and resonates with someone else. Let's go ahead, take one more full breath in here. And on our exhale, we'll open up our eyes, sitting up nice and tall. Let's take a big breath in. Hands come all the way up. Big breath in. And exhale, release. Yes. Inhale, hands lift up. And exhale, release. Just going to get a good warm up here. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, hands come up. And exhale. Yes. Let's bring our hands to our shoulders. Just going to open up those shoulders a little bit here. Take those big circles back with the elbows. Yes. Slowing it down, moving with breath. Inhale as one elbow lifts and exhale for the other. It's almost like you're drawing big circles on the walls to the side. So today's practice is usually about 20 minutes. And if you're familiar with my videos, you'll know that my 20 minutes is usually about 23 minutes, 24. So don't be surprised. The practice itself is about 20 minutes. I usually don't really factor in the seated meditation or the shavasana. And as always, at the end of the practice, if you need a little more time in shavasana, this is all about you right now. Remember when we gave ourselves permission to focus only on ourselves? Take whatever time you need. That's why there's a pause button. Let's do just one more here. Yes, and relax. Nice. Let's make our way to all fours. Get a couple of cat-cows in so that we can, so that we can warm up that spine. So our hands are under our shoulders, knees are under our hips. I'm going to regret leaving my hair down for this. It looks cute, but yeah, you're going to see me fiddling with it quite a bit. Hands under the shoulders, knees under those hips. Take a gentle breath in. And on our exhale, go ahead, round that spine. Yes. There we go. Inhale, take an arch. Let the belly relax. See, I've got a little bit of movement going on. We remember we're never stuck in any position. Let's exhale round. And while we're doing cat-cow, I'm going to pause for a moment and put this up. All right, we're doing a couple of cat-cows here, really pressing into the palms of the hand. Mercury was in retrograde, so that's why my hair was in my face. See, we're going to be blaming everything on these planets. Whew, you're going to hear a lot of that lately. Let the belly relax when we're taking these nice arches and rounds, pressing into the palms of the hands. Let's do just one more of each, and then we'll finish up on a round. Yes. Finish up on that round right now. There we go. And let's hang out on this neutral spine here. Walking the hands forward just a couple of inches. Let's find our first downward dog. We tuck the toes under, press into the palms of the hands, send those heels back toward the mat. It's like we're making an upside down letter V. You will hear me breathe pretty heavily sometimes, just letting that breath out. I always have to remind my classes that let the air out. Don't worry about trying to quiet that breath or breathe silently. Hear it leaving your body. Let the head relax as we walk the dog a little bit here. We know that with our yoga practice, every single move, every single pose, all the sequences, those are options. They are not requirements. When we talk about communication, many of you know that when I was younger, my nickname was Motor Mouth. So apparently I liked to verbally communicate quite a bit, but it's all good. So you'll find that during the yoga practice, I do tend to talk a lot. And sometimes that might not be someone's cup of tea. Some people are like, can she just please be quiet? But that's okay. It's good to have a little self-awareness. I just want to make sure that you are getting everything you can out of every movement, every pose. And I just want to be that guide to get you there. All right, let's go ahead. We'll stop pedaling it out. Lower those knees all the way down to the mat. Let's find our first child's pose here. Send those hips back. Maybe even open up the knees if we need to a little bit here. If that feels good for a little space for our tummy or chest area. Reaching long with our hands, and let's just let that forehead rest. Yes, just a couple of breaths here. Opening up the fingers nice and wide. There we go. One more full breath in here. Yes. And when we're ready, we'll make our way back to downward dog. Bringing those knees back about hip distance apart. Tuck toes under. Send those hips to the sky. Use the strength in the arms to push into the hands. Still pulling those shoulders away from the mat and away from the ears. Just going to walk it out a little bit here. All right, let's go ahead. Gently bend those knees. Walk our feet all the way up to our hands. And let's roll that spine up. One vertebrae at a time. Reaching up nice and high. And bringing the hands down to heart center. Very nice. So from here, let's find our hands at our sides. This is our mountain pose. This is Tadasana. And it's exactly how it sounds. Our feet are right underneath our hips. Shoulders are pulled down away from the ears. Fingers aiming toward the ground, toward the earth. And let's roll those shoulders forward, back and down here. We think about that neck being nice and long. Remember, we're focusing on that throat chakra today that houses our communication skills. Making sure that everything that we send out of our throat chakra is nothing but for good. So when we think about that, we really, really make that neck nice and long, creating some space. This is our last one right here. Let's lift the hands all the way up toward the sky. Interlace our fingers above us, index finger pointing toward the sky, and pull those shoulders down. Yes. If this is a little too much, just release the hands. It's all good. Take a gentle breath in. And on our exhale, let's take a stretch on over to that right side. Yes. Inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, up and over to that left side. Oh, that's a good stretch. Keeping the hips centered. Inhale. Exhale, up and over. And still keeping those shoulders down. Inhale. And exhale. Yes. Couple more here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. That's our last one. Yes. Bring it on back to center. Release those hands to the side in our mountain pose. Yes. Let's lift the hands all the way up toward the sky. Take a big breath in. Soften those knees. Exhale, take a fold. Let's hang out in this fold for just a couple of breaths here. Let the head be heavy. Let the arms just dangle. Knees can be soft. And let's go ahead and roll that spine up. One vertebrae at a time. Lifting the hands all the way up toward the sky and take them down to heart center. So we're going to start a couple of sun salutations here just to get the heat going. Take a big breath in. We're at the top of our mats. Soften the knees. Exhale. Take that fold. Bring it to a nice extension. That flat back. Hands are on the knees, the shins. Nice long neck. Exhale. Fold. Plant the hands on the mat. Let's step on out to a plank 1 foot at a time. I'm going to send my knees down today. Just for now. Shoulders are over the wrists. Let's go ahead. Inhale, lower chaturanga. Elbows hug the body. Gentle cobra, just a little lift. Squeeze the glutes and lengthen that neck. And exhale to downward dog. Tuck the toes under. Go ahead. Push into the arms and the hands. Take it to that downward dog. Gently bend the knees. Look at our hands. Step. or hop the feet all the way up and reverse the dive. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, soften the knees, exhale, fold. Flat back on the breath in, nice long neck. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or hop on back to a plank. Knees can be down or up. Inhale as we shift the shoulders over the wrists, then lower chaturanga. Gentle cobra, just a little lift here. And exhale to downward dog. Bending those knees, look at our hands. Step or lightly hop on up. Reverse the dive. Let's get 1 more in here. It's getting warmer, that's the goal. Always at our own pace, our own breath. Yes. If we feel warm enough for upward dog, go for it. Let's just make sure that we don't throw our neck back in that upward dog. It's just a slight lift of the chin. And exhale, downward dog. Yes, gently bend those knees. Look at our hands. Step or lightly hop on up. Reverse the dive. We're gonna make our way to child's pose next, but let's flow on down there. So take that fold. Flat back. Exhale, fold. Hop or step on back. And let's drop to our knees. Find that child's pose. Yes. Find your breath. Grab a drink if you need it. I'm going to grab one right now. Just hanging out in child's pose for a couple of breaths here. That's my spark drink. Whew. Building that energy. One more full breath in here, you guys. One more full breath. And then let's find our way to a plank position. Lots of options for our plank today. Hands can be under our shoulders. We can lift those knees. Feet are about hip distance apart. If we want to send the knees down, we absolutely can. Shoulders are pulled back. Nice long neck. If it's a little too much to hang here, you can always come on down to your forearms. Lift those knees. Whew. Just make sure that we're activating those core muscles by pulling that belly button in toward the spine. Just a couple more breaths here in plank. Keeping the neck nice and long. Remember, we're making space in that throat chakra. Gentle breath in. One more exhale. Inhaling to prepare. And let's lower chaturanga. Yes. All right. So from here, we have a locust. Now, if you've been practicing yoga for a little bit, you can either come into locust, which is what I'm going to do today. You can come into bow pose, or even get up on your knees and go into camel pose. Since I like to keep it nice and basic for these videos, we're gonna go locust today. If you have any back issues, lower back issues, or where there's like an injury or you really need to be careful about back bends, please just take it to a cat-cow, all right? This is just yoga. It's not that big of a deal, okay? All right, so if we're going to go into locust, we have our body nice and long. The tops of the feet are resting on the mat, bringing our arms alongside the body. First things first, this is our neutral position. We're looking at the top of our mat, neck is long, squeeze those glutes, and when you're ready, take a breath in. And on an exhale, go ahead and lift. Lift the legs, lift the shoulders and chest. Remember, we're not throwing that head back. It's just a slight lift of the chin. And every exhale takes us just a little bit deeper into the pose. gentle breath in. And let's lower down. Rest our cheek on the mat. Melt those shoulders in. Yes, yes, yes. Finding that neutral position again. Looking at the top of our mat, arms hovering. Legs are together. They don't have to be glued together. Squeeze the glutes. That takes tension out of the lower back. And when you're ready on an exhale, go ahead, lift. Locust. Nice, nice, nice. One more full breath in. One more exhale. Gentle breath in. And lower down. Melt into the mat. Resting that opposite cheek. Yes. All right. From here, let's go ahead, bring it back to that neutral position. Hands under the shoulders. We're going to find our way to a child's pose. But let's use the strength in our arms to push ourselves up and make our way to that child's pose. So push on up. Ooh, yes. And find that child's pose. So nice. Catch your breath. We'll gently make our way to a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. Yes. Maybe that crisscross applesauce position, if that's all right today. Usually I like to sit on a block. I should have brought a block out here today. Bring a block next time. All right. Sit up nice and tall. Just a couple of twists here. Let's take an inhale. And let's take that little twist over to the left side. Just let those hands drop. We're just looking over that left knee, nice and tall. Twists are a great way to just release any extra tension or toxins. Releasing that negativity that's inside. Comes out through our breath. We're literally wringing out the inside and releasing. So that we don't release it with our mouth and pop off on somebody. If you want to place your hand on that left knee, take that twist a little further. Go for it. One more full breath in here. One more exhale. Inhaling to prepare. And let's come on back to center. Lifting the hands all the way up toward the sky. Just going to push away here. Just pushing away. Reset that spine a little bit before we go into that twist again. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, release. There we go. Inhale, hands come all the way up. Let's find that twist to the right side. Just letting those hands drop. Sitting up tall. Maybe placing the hand on the right knee. Still sitting tall. And allowing each exhale to take us a little bit deeper into that twist. Looking over that right shoulder. Nice. Let's go ahead, take a gentle breath in here. And on our exhale, come on back to center. So from here, let's make our way with our legs nice and long, finding this staff pose, sitting up tall. You'll hear that word tall a lot, right? Because it's all about lengthening from the root, lengthening from our feet all the way up. And if we're seated, we're lengthening, especially from our bottom all the way up, lengthening that spine, lengthening the neck, housing that throat chakra again. Staff pose, sitting tall, shoulders back and down. This can be a challenge for some people. It is a challenge for me right now, just sitting here. So if you feel like you need a little more stability to place your hands down to kind of get that length in that spine and in that neck, you make the pose fit your body, not the other way around. Nice deep breaths here. We'll take a gentle breath in. One more exhale. Inhale, lift the hands all the way up nice and high. And on our exhale, let's take a fold. Oh, yes. Just let those hands land where they may. Relax the belly. Yes, yes, yes. That feels good. Nice deep breaths here. It's okay if those knees are bent. It's all right if our hands just land at our shins. Maybe they just land at our knees today. Give ourselves some grace. Let's communicate to ourselves that where we are right now, that's okay. That's where we're supposed to be. No judgment, no expectation, just good. We'll release those hands, still sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to come into a reverse plank. So we'll bring our hands on either side of our body, pushing the palms of the hands into the mat, and just lift that chest toward the sky. If you would like to go into that full reverse plank and just lift the hips all the way. Yes. Slight lift of the chin. Remember, we're just lengthening the neck. Yes. One more breath in. And on our exhale, come on back. Whew. Nice, nice, nice. All right, here we are. We made it. Let's scooch to the top of our mat. We're going to go ahead and wind ourselves down into our final relaxation. Bring the arms forward and draw those shoulders back. And let's just roll that spine all the way down. Yes. Very, very nice. Let's bring those knees in for our chest. Just rock a little bit side to side. And when you're ready, we'll make our way to our Shavasana pose. Legs can be nice and long. Maybe we just want to have those knees fall in toward each other. Maybe a butterfly stretch feels good. Palms are facing up. And we'll just take about a minute or two here just to remind ourselves that it is never selfish to take care of ourselves first. When we take better care of ourselves, we can take better care of others and the world around us. We remember that our community, whatever that is, whether that's our household or where we work or where we spend a lot of time, our community needs what we and only we have to give. There is no one else in the world just like you. And you are something to be celebrated. And if you're made to give nothing but good things to our community around us, let's make sure that not only the words that we speak are for good, but even more importantly, the words that we speak to ourselves and about ourselves are for good. Just a couple more breaths here. Of course, if we need a little extra time, you can always pause this and then come on back whenever you're ready. Otherwise, we'll make our way onto our left or right side in a gentle curled up position. And then go ahead, use that strength from our hand and our arm to push ourselves up to seated, sitting up nice and tall. bringing our hands just to our neck, very lightly. Let's close our eyes for a moment. Taking this time at the end of our practice to remember how powerful the words are that we speak. To remember the difference that we can make with the things that we say. And to remember that it is our responsibility to communicate for good. Let's go ahead, open up our eyes, take a big breath in, hands come all the way up toward the sky. Let's take it on down, heart center. Thank you so much for practicing yoga with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.